Hey ho! Hey, and it's Friday! Finally! Sorry, had an itch. So, I got a new setup. As you can see, no more weird stuff behind me. Pray to God it doesn't fall down. I have a fancy new camera holder thing. And as you can see by my little friend here, I have my individual nail holders. So that's going to make today so much quicker. So much quicker. All right, let's be excited. Yay! Oh, and please notice the new logo. That is the official logo for Nocrylic Nails. Designed by yours truly. What? Okay, I'm a little hyper, and that's okay. My hair's in my way. There we go. So, today we are going to be doing some watercolor art and a little bit of work on ombre. But we're going to take that one step at a time. I played around with this a little bit yesterday, and it was a great deal of fun. So I am hoping that today goes as well as last night. Let's start with the ombre, because that's the really fun, challenging part. I'm still working on it, so anywho, I have two awesome colors. One of these I've used. I don't know if I've used these two before with you, but I have. This is LA Colors. What do they call this silly, crazy thing? What is this? Apparently this is mint. Right. It's not. I don't call that mint. I call it glows under UV light. Yeah, baby. It's also the same one I used on my St. Patrick's Day nails with the orange and white and green. This is the green I used. And then we have my blue, which needs to be shaken, and it is called Ocean View. Very pretty. It's really, I really think it's one of my favorite blues. It's just the right blue for everything. So, I'm going to do blue on top, green on the bottom. But how do you do this? Okay, so I had looked for a long time at like videos on how to do ombres. What you don't see is that you should probably hold the little sponge with something like tweezers. It dawned on me last night. Okay, so I did this last night. Those are the colors. So I'm using my tweezers that I usually use for everything else. Okay, not hard. I'm gonna move my little friend here out of the way. Please ignore the X there. It's just, and his spotting mark, because I'm still getting used to this, and so is this. Okay, so what you do first, we all know what I'm doing. Yes, I am shaking them. Shake. Really not good for the carpal tunnel, but I don't really care because it has to happen. So, loosen the lids. Make sure the brush and the lid are coming with each other. You know, because that's what they're supposed to do. And then I will. Right-handed, it makes this awkward. Anywho, here's what we do. I take the. There we go. I'm getting it. Take the blue. Put a really nice heavy coat. I know it looks like it's soaking in. That's what these things do. They soak in. This is, by the way, part of a little makeup wedge. I cut the wedge in half. I'm using the fat part. You could use the smaller end to do other small detail work, I suppose. And here we go with the green. It really does look wussy. You'll see what I mean. See, it comes out really sheer. That's okay. That's okay. Put several coats on here. They can overlap. Don't have to for this. For anything else, yeah, I'd want them overlapping. Now, why am I putting so much on? Because sponges soak things up. Okay. Now, those are done. I now take my little friend off of his stand. And I am going to just set this here. And yes, I painted his background white because I wanted this to show up. And if you look with them held with tweezers, it comes out a lot. I'm not doing much with this. Don't need much because I want the watercolor to show up. And there you have it. You have sky and grass. Right? Let's move you up, over, come straight up from the X, and it should. See? Sky, that's the blue part, in case you were wondering. And grass, which is the green part, in case you were wondering, or you lived in a drought-stricken area. So I could probably get the grass. See, I can get the grass a little greener by using the corner. Yeah. So I'm still working out the lighting on this, so this light is probably way too bright for this. And I will fix that momentarily. And you can do, you know, darker, lighter. It does not have to cover the whole nail. That is what I like about this one. I'm going to turn this down, see if that helps. Are we less glare-y? Oh, we are. I am serving shadow, but you're not worried about me. Y'all want to see this shiznit. I know. So, that is probably the easy part. I'm going to throw it under the nuker really quick to let those set and make sure they're very dry before I do anything more. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to show you the next part, which is watercolors. Yes, watercolors. I use watercolor pencils. Some people have other ways. I like my water-soluble pencils. I found them huge set, tons of them, at Barnes & Noble a couple of years ago. Got them for coloring in colored books. Oh, but they work wonderfully for this application. How do you use them, you ask? I'm so glad you asked. So I get a piece of paper, you know, doesn't have to be any special kind of paper. I wouldn't recommend using napkins, but, you know, lined notebook paper doesn't matter because that's not going to transfer. And I scribble the colors I think I want. So I'm going to just darken up the black here because I used a fair amount. And you just scribble. Isn't that easy? Get the color fiercely like you did as a kid. Okay, and I can set that one aside. What else am I going to want? I'm going to want yellow for the sky, for the sun, because you got to have the sun, right? Here comes the sun and all of that. There we go. All right. And get that a little darker. And I have some red because I don't know. I might want detail. I put pink on here last night. I was going to do cute little pink flowers. They didn't work. Not doing pink flowers. Putting purple in because, you know, why not? I put purple in last night. Okay, so you basically got your little palette. That's all you need to do for this. Okay, done with the pencils. I put them back into my giant jar of magical watercolor pencils. I put them back into the jar of my magical watercolor pencils. Thank you. Okay, brush. You want a nice fine brush. These are regular art brushes, actually. This is a number 2, I think. These, I like these. They have nice little gel handles, like a pencil. Okay, and because these are watercolors, you want water. Don't drink it after you've dipped your pen in your, your brush in it. You're not going to like it very much. So, and you're going to want some little tissues because you don't want your brush too wet. Okay, so get these where they're going to be comfortable for you. Probably over in here. Let's see. Here's my little friend. Are we dry? We are. We are. It doesn't matter if he's a little bumpy because, you know, he's going to be a little bumpy. Okay. There he is without his stand. Now, what am I going to do? Well, I recently, courtesy of my husband, got to watch really good fantasy artists draw mountains. And I practiced and practiced and practiced. And I'm so proud of myself. I actually figured out how to do them. So that's what I'm doing. I am doing like a mountain scene because it just lends itself beautifully to this. So, dip brush in water. If you get sopping wet, that's okay. You just dry it off a bit on your little pad there. And just pick up some of the, look at that. It works just like, it's just like having your own little palette. And then I'm going to, okay, can I do this and not hunch over? Maybe. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mountains aren't perfect. I mean, in case you haven't been to them before. And it looks like he wants to go this way. You're like, well, that's a funny looking mountain. Well, I'm going to add a little more water. Ooh, got him a little too. There we go. Add a little more. There we go. See, it doesn't matter if you have, like, I'm getting a little piece over here on the side, you know, like a wannabe hill. And we just shade that in. And then we'll have, like, the ground that comes this way. And this can be implied, right? Right. So, coolest trick I've ever seen happen. Pick up some more there. Look at that. That looks like a mountain, guys. I love that trick. I am so grateful to those artists. And it was shown by, you know, real D&D artists. You know, the ones that do all this great stuff out there. So that takes care of the mountain. How perfect is that? Okay, so you gotta think, well, what am I doing with the valley? Well, I don't know yet. I know I had the blue. Okay, so, oops. He does want to tip over when I'm holding him a lot. So you sit there and you just let it air dry. Make sure your brush is really clean before you go to the next color. You end up with muddy colors on. I don't know. Do you remember that as a child? Did you ever play with watercolors? If not, this is a great way to learn to play with them. I love watercolors. I love watercolor art. I think it is just the most amazing, free, quiet sort of work you can find as far as art. So that's my take on it. Yeah, you take what you want. So I'm going to go after some of the blue here because I feel like we need a river. Don't you? I mean, don't rivers come out of the mountains or streams or something, right? Okay. So where's he going to come from? Well, they usually come from something like that. And it can come along this way. You got kind of just have it meander through the valley. In here. You can't really see it. It's a little light. I can fix that. That's why I try and use some of the darker colors on this. See? See? It looks like it has like little banks on it. I hope you can see that clearly enough. I'll bring it up and see if I can. Whoops, that way, that way, that way. There. Can you see that? It's really kind of cool. Really kind of cool. I don't know why my phone doesn't want to now focus nicely like it has in the past. I don't know. My phone's being stupid today. I may just have to break down and replace it with something else. So I can keep going on that for a bit because, I mean, I can darken that up all day. And the nice thing is that if you feel like you're running low on a color, you just stop and grab the corresponding pencil. And you can, you know, fix it. There, that's better. That feels better. Yes, I like that much better. It's bluer. See, there you go. There you can see the little river flowing through the valley. So what am I doing about the base of this? Because it does look a little sketchy. And I hadn't thought that through last night. But I think I need to define the bottom of the mountain a little more. So I want this kind of loose. We'll see if I can do this. It really is easier with these because then you can see what I'm doing even if I've got my face in the way. There we go. Let's see. And we get a feel for this. Maybe darken this guy up a bit to get the feel of the shoulder of the mountains. Da-da-da. Yeah, there we go. We get some more mountains over here. So just do a little jaggedy hump there because that's what they do. They do jaggedy humps. That's a nice thing about being in Washington is you get to see a really nice variety of like mountains and stuff. And you kind of get a feel for what they do. Now, if I wanted to, I'm not going to. I'm going to add some little details because you've got a really nice little scene here. Very simple. You know, if you're doing a whole spring watercolor scene, this would be a good part of it. And then you could do like a little garden with bright colored flowers. Really, if you can paint it like a little kid, you can do this. This is not rocket science. It's just fun. That's why I thought I'd do that today. So we need a sun. I think it's important to have the sun. So make sure you've got all the other color off of your brush. Last thing you want is black spots on the sun. We can't see sunspots from Earth, therefore we don't get sunspots. Okay, I know. So you're going to pick up some of the yellow. And I made some orange yesterday, but I think I can pick up some of the orange that I put in here earlier. And you just want to do like a little circle. Really not good at circles. I want you to know that. And just paint it in. It's okay if some of the sky shows through. Right? Right. Here we go. Okay. Now, get you back where you belong. Come on, phone. Keep up. There you go. So that's really dark. I don't think I like how dark that is. That's like way too dark for even my liking. I'm going to lighten this up with some really bright yellow. I think that's a good idea. Okay, have I got enough yellow in there? I hope I do. Because I'm going to just brighten this puppy up. There we go. That brightens it up, softens it. Put little rays of sunlight. There, right? Little rays of sunlight. Like you did when you were a kid, remember? You just have to be patient. Well, that didn't turn out quite as good, but I like it. I like it. That's the sun. That's the sun there. Right? Yeah, here we go. All right. What else do mountains have around them? Birds. If you remember the first time you learned how to draw a bird from a distance and you realized that it was so simple? You ever seen little kids do this? It's the only way I draw birds because I can't draw really. I can do birds from a distance. Okay. That's kind of like being able to do anacondas from the outside and anacondas from the inside. Those of you that have read The Little Prince, hats off to you. So you're going to get a little bit of black. Maybe get a little looser than what I would normally, but because you want it fairly dark. You want it to kind of stand out. Now, where is there room for a bird? There's room for a bird here. So I'm going to do him very small. There we go. That's about as bird as I'm getting today. Does that look like a bird from a distance? No. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well. I'm making it worse, not better. So, that's great though. Because you know what? Here's the solution. You have instant eraser. Doesn't look right. You get a little bit of a damp cloth. You can erase it. Simple. Very simple. Let's see if I can do this better this time. How about a little more paint on the brush? So I have no idea what the weird noises are outside, if you can hear them. I have no idea. Sounds like an alarm of some sort. Yeah, this bird is just going to argue with me. It's funny, because the bird worked great last night. There. You know, this bird and I are going to have problems. That does not look like a bird, does it? I don't know. I don't think it looks like a bird. Maybe it's a dragon. I'll settle for it's a weird looking dragon, because I'm done. And that's really what there is to this. And you let it air dry while you clean up your brush. Dirt simple, stick it in water, wipe out the colored pencil. This is a very short one today, so I may talk a little longer. You don't have to worry about cleaning up the sponge. They're kind of reusable, but you have to shear off the dried parts. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's very dry versus the other side where it's starting to dry and feel the edges are getting crispy. You know, when things dry out and the edges start with being crispy. Okay, your color palette out of the way. There we go. So what do I do for a top coat? Well, for one, also remember and close your polishes all the way down when you're done with them, because that is also an epic disaster. Again, waiting to happen. It's not good at all. So, and this is, I used my ASP white for the base, because ASP, enough said. So, I've done some other, you don't need your cue mark now. Also move the shot glass of water out of the way. I still would not advise drinking from it. God only knows how long it sat there. So this does not take long to dry. Yeah, that's dry. That's the other reason, is that it dries quick. And there you have really a lovely little scene. I am going to put now my usual favorite super shiny top coat. Right? We just float it on there. Not a lot of pressure. Just really light. Because you don't really need a heavy coat. There we go. There we go. Boom. And I will put him on his little display stand. Remember, close your top coat down really well too. And he's on his little display stand. And now maybe, just maybe, I can get him up here and you can get a good look at this. Why is this not focusing the way I want it to? Oh, I bet I know. Let me zoom out a bit. Let's see if this will zoom in now nicely. See, you've got your sun, you got your weird looking little bird, and you've got your little river through the valley. Now, I could have put little humpy humps in there to make it seem like, you know, we've got low hills, which, you know, a good artist would have done. I'm not a good artist, so I'm doing it this way. You could add other details, I suppose, if you've got a really steady hand with a little brush and you're comfortable with watercolor. Put flowers or daisies or something. But that is it. That is how simple this is. So I am going to, you can stare at that, and I will give you a nice close-up shot at the end. Maybe I can get you up close enough and let this be a thing. Come back here. No, I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it separate, but you get another good look at it. little shiny, little, yeah. But the sun's a little orange, but hey, maybe it's sunset, right? There we go. So there's him, and I'm going to put him over here so that he doesn't get in my way. I spent some time yesterday playing with colors and working on this idea. That's POS. And I keep seeing tutorials for doing ombres, with gel polish. And I have tried and tried. And this is really about the best I get. And he's kind of... He's kind of okay. I don't like him particularly. I love the colors, but I don't like the feel. It's very time consuming and it's kind of a pain. I don't think the work is worth the rewards. Versus when I go with my sponge technique. Maybe I shouldn't use that finger. But then we have him, which, you know, if you were doing a set of Pride nails, boom, there you go. There's a start, right? Someone told me that in a comment when I put it up. Someone had mentioned that they thought it would be like a total Pride nail. And I agree, because I used pretty much all the colors that would give you your full spectrum. But there's that one, which I think came out really cute. I could have done another layer of top coat. Didn't. It's because I was playing. And then I played with more sunset-y sort of colors. Makes me think of the Caribbean, sort of. This would be fun to stamp over. Maybe I'll do that as a one-off, to just do a stamping one day. But those are what I do. I did these yesterday. You know, while I was adjusting everything else and getting excited about my new stand. So, which is really cool. They say, you know, I read all the reviews and they're like, oh, the little stands are so tiny. Well, no, duh. I mean, they are tiny. All right, those are little. Okay, here. You can see, this is my hand. It is tiny. It's about the size of a cufflink. But why would you want something huge when you're doing it for display? So I can do a lot with these. And I have 5 of them, so I can do 5 different designs if I'm so inclined. I am not today. So that's the sum total. I will give you a final picture of the one we did today. And I want to talk to y'all just in general. So I'm going to adjust a couple of things like that. And I'm going to bring myself center here and get things out of the way. Turn my fan off on this. Yeah, my holder is very cool also. It has a cooling fan. So I back him up. Down. Take my phone back. Yeah. There we go. And that is my office disassembled, which I really love. So there we have it. So I want to talk. So many people are having a hard time with this confinement. And I understand. I do. You feel like you're being told you can't have a life. And I got rights too. And a whole bunch of stuff. I've been hearing people protesting. And they want to start the economy back up. So I have questions. One, I think you're being horribly selfish. That is my opinion. I am entitled to it. Do with it what you want. But if you go out and you do whatever you want, and you get a whole bunch of people, if you just get some people sick, what is the point in having an economy if everyone's sick? Who the hell's gonna make it happen? You're not thinking here. And I love you, humanity. I do. Because as a rule, through all of this, you have been amazing. You really have. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the people that have been out there just trying to save lives. And bravo to you. And all that kind of stuff. But those that think that social distancing and stay-at-home orders don't apply to them because they're healthy or they're young or they're whatever. No, it does apply to you. It's like you have this thing that you can't see. And I know it's like, well, if I can't see it, then it doesn't matter, right? Okay, well, you can't see air, but that kind of is important, right? I mean, duh. So this thing, it can kill, and it makes people feel horrible, achy all over, sometimes removing the ability to breathe. Why would you want to even chance being responsible for that or getting something like that? Why would you do that? Are you really that self-involved? Because if you are, well, I guess you are. We just have to put up with you. But I think you're a bunch of idiots. That's my opinion. You can take, you know what? You are welcome to blow up the comments and blast away at me, because it's not going to change my opinion. I think you're selfish and dangerous. And you need to just suck it up, Cupcake. Because this is maybe what got us into this point. That we're all so selfish and my rights. And I have the right to this and I have the right to that. And we're so worried about our rights that we forget about our neighbor who has rights too. Only they're not saying anything. They're just putting up with you screaming about your rights. Going, oh, I have rights too. I have the right to not listen to you. And puts earplugs in. Because that's their right. They may not be the one to say, hey, shut up. But they have the right to not listen to you. And you have the right to not listen to them. But when something threatens our society as a whole, and it comes about, aside from the political mishandling, which I'm not getting into, because I'm not getting into politics here, I'm getting into people. And the fact is, you're all human. Every last one of you. Whether you want to be or not. This does not discriminate. So get your butts home. Stay there. Oh, it's been 4 weeks. I'm going crazy. Really? My husband, he is a goer-doer-beer. Prior to this, he would go out every weekend, or almost every weekend. He had to go somewhere. Had to go somewhere, do something, be something. Couldn't just sit at home doing nothing. Do you know what he does now? He comes home from work. He is an essential, a pharmacy technician. He comes home from work after putting up with who knows what. He gets out of his clothes. He gets into his jammies. He sits his ass down on the couch. And we hang out together. And we watch TV, or he plays his video game. What is it? Something few, one of the few that, I don't know, but it's really cool. And it kind of makes me think of now. This is the man that swore up and down that if he had to be stuck in the house, he'd go nuts. But he's adjusting. He's doing this thing. He's not out there running around, wasting gas for one. Come on, think of the financial advantages. You're not running all over the place, so you're not spending gas. You're not spending money. This is an opportunity to save. Okay, so, but I don't have a lot of money to begin with. Then, good, you're spending less of it on frivolous shit. My son and daughter-in-law, they live on very skimpy means. They live in a, basically Section 8. Horrible place, kind of, but it's a roof over their heads, and I'm glad they have a roof over their heads right now. they don't go out anyway. As a rule, they don't. It's too peoply out there for them. But they're actually having a little more money too, because they're not going, well, I want this. Well, I don't want to go to the store right now. We'll just go up to the little store, which costs them even more money. And I know they don't see it, but it is saving them money. Their food stamps go further. They have to come out sometimes because laundry, because they're not paying for $6 for a load of laundry. Okay, we're not doing that. So, is it violating the spirit of social distancing, having them come to my house to do laundry? Maybe, but that then makes me essential because they have no other way of getting anywhere. They have no other way of getting to the grocery store, and they won't let someone else do their groceries for them because they've got enough disabilities that they don't trust other people to get their groceries the right way. And I know that sounds silly, but I get it. It's like I don't let other people load my dishwasher because they do it wrong. I guess what I'm trying to say is, y'all that don't want to stay home because there's nothing to do or you're bored, learn something new. Take up crocheting, take up knitting, learn how to play pinochle or something. You don't need to be out at all hours doing whatever. I can hear the traffic. The traffic is so much less at 3 o'clock in the afternoon here since we've had the lockdown. I can actually get out of my driveway if I want to go somewhere, which I don't. So stay home. Do your nails. Hey! Watch videos. Yeah. We've probably got another 4 weeks of this, folks. So quit jumping up and down and hooting and hollering about your rights and I want the economy going. Well, again, we opened everything up too soon and people start dropping like flies. How's that helping you? It's not. And it's not helping anyone else either. And I know business owners are struggling, but they've got things in place. Is it going to be instant? No. What the hell in life is instant? I mean, for reals. Okay, instant pudding. Even that's not instant. You think instant, you go poof, and it happens. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Life takes time. You can't hurry it. And you can't slow it down. You just have to do it. One day at a time, one footstep at a time. So quit trying to hurry it up. Enjoy the trip. Look around. Maybe, reconnect with someone you haven't had a chance to reconnect with. Learn how to use social media more. Something. But for the love of all that is green and growing, stop with the whole, it's my right and we should hurry up and open the economy back up. Get everybody out there. Because I frankly don't want to see all the dead bodies. I'd rather us take our time, do it right. And there's my little social speech. So stay home, wash your hands, don't bug people, and have a grand weekend, frankly. I don't know about other parts of the world, country or world or whatever, wherever you are. It's supposed to be kind of nice here. Good old Washington. Where it rains all the time, which is why the sun's shining and it's about 70 degrees. I love you guys. Be good. Be excellent to each other. And I will see everyone Monday with a brand new idea for a set of nails. And I still will have hope. Peace.